Yes, let's continue the advanced tax topic. So this is the overview of advanced tax provisions. These are the various sections that are there dealing with advanced tax. Now, what are they? So 207, this is actually, I can say, charging section. This is the section talks about applicability of advanced tax. So this section says advanced tax is applicable as per the criteria given in 208. That's what 207 says. 207 says advanced tax is applicable if 208 conditions satisfied. Now inside 207 only, they clearly mentioned for a senior citizen who is not having income from business or profession, he is not liable to pay advance tax. He is not liable to pay advance tax. Further, 209, 210, this is talking about on what basis you should compute advance tax. What is the basis for computation of advance tax? So how do you compute advance tax is what 209, 210 is talking about. These two sections put together, they are saying simple. SSC have to estimate the total income and calculate what is the tax liability. From that, reduce TDS, TCS, relief, everything. What is the balance tax liability? If that balance tax liability is exceeding 10,000 rupees as mentioned under 208, if the tax payable amount, if it is crossing 10,000, he should pay advance tax. Second one, no, suppose no, some SSCs, no, they don't pay advance tax. Sir, interest is applicable. Okay, 1% interest per month, I'll pay, no issue. Because no, instead of paying advance tax, if that amount I use in my business, no, I will get 5% per month return. Why should I pay advance tax? Why should I block my money? Some people will have this attitude. Sometimes, no, what income tax department, no, they have a power. They have the power to give order. They have a power to order the SSC to pay advance tax. Based on department computation, department will compute what is the tax liability, everything based on their own estimates. Getting it? So like they have given some criteria. I'll tell you when I'm actually reading the text. So if the SSC in previous years, suppose right now 23-24 is going on right now. For this year, compute estimated total income and pay advance tax. If you don't compute in previous years, no, last year, somewhere, no, your case is taken up for scrutiny. Your income tax case is taken up for scrutiny. At that time, department calculated your income and passed an order, and you pay tax also extra in the order. That's called regular assessment. What is it called as? Regular assessment under income tax law. We call it a section 143 assessment. So under section 143, once upon a time, some last year or before last year, some 3 years ago or sometime, your case was taken up for scrutiny and you paid tax. This year, you have not paid any advance tax. Department, no, they don't want to wait until next year. I don't know. In the next year, you may be insolvent. Who knows? So department issued an order in your name. Dear SSC, we noticed that you are not paying any advance tax. Kindly pay advance tax as per the below calculation. You must pay. That is what 209, 210, both of them together speaking. They are simply saying you have to pay advance tax either on estimation basis, or if at all income tax department served you an order based as per the order, whatever is there, you have to pay advance tax. Now, how should you pay advance tax? In how many? Should I pay monthly or half yearly? What? You should pay advance tax in installments. That is 4 installments. They have given, the act has given 4 installments. That entire information about 4 installments is given under section 211. Getting it? So that we are going to. If at all you do not pay advance tax, suppose your tax payable amount is exceeding 10,000, but you did not pay advance tax. In the assessment you are filing IT return, at the time of filing IT return, you should pay income tax. Along with that, pay interest on shortfall of advance tax. Getting it? During assessment year. I'll discuss later, don't worry. Interest on shortfall in installment of advance tax during the previous year with respect to return tax, with respect to SSC tax. I will discuss all these terms slowly, don't worry. Fine. So now let's proceed further to discuss about installments of advance tax. Fine. So let's look at installments. Whatever liability you have now, suppose, let me take one example. Suppose my estimated total income is 12 lakhs. Let us assume it is actual total income. Actual total income is 12 lakhs. On this, my total tax liability is 1,80,000 minus, I'm working in company, or this is my rental income, whatever, TDS and all, 1,20,000 is there. Okay, or else let us assume for better understanding 80,000 only TDS is there, no other, nothing. So what is my tax payable? Still 1 lakh. What is my tax payable? 1 lakh. This amount, no, you should pay like in 4 installments. 15th June of the quarter, first quarter. Generally right now 23-24 year is going on. For this year you are earning income, on that income you should calculate tax and pay advance tax. So for this year my actual income is 12 lakhs. Let us assume my actual income is 12 lakhs. How do I don't know how much I am paying? Fine, let us look at. So for 23-24, by 15th June 2023, you must pay 15% of tax payable. How much? 15% of whatever tax payable is there, you must pay. How much is that? 15,000 rupees you must pay. How much you should pay? Write it in different color. 15,000 rupees you must pay. Sorry. Okay, fine. Second installment, 15th September. Third installment, 15th December. Fourth installment and final installment, 15th March. 15th March 2024. 2022. That is the fourth installment. This is first installment, second installment, third installments, and fourth installment. So by first installment, 15th June, which is the due date, you should be paying at least 15% of the tax pay. You can pay excess, no problem, but that is a minimum. How much? 15. By 15th September, SSE should be paying 45% of tax payable. SSE should be paying 45% of the tax payable. So 45% of the tax payable means, let us assume in first installment he already paid 15,000. Second installment, total tax payable 1 lakh. 45% means 45,000 should have been paid. You should be paying 45,000. Sir, out of 45%, 15,000 I already paid, sir. Still how much you should be paying? 30,000 you should be paying. Nothing but by the time 15th September comes, total tax amount should come 45,000 rupees. Total tax amount should come how much? 45,000 rupees. Are you getting it? Which means how much you will pay actually in this case? Very simple, sir. Total tax 45,000 I should have paid, right? By this time 45% of my tax payable amount I should discharge. Out of 45, sir, first installment I paid 15, sir. So which means how much I will be paying in the second installment, so that 45% comes 30,000 if you pay enough. In our example, first installment pay 50,000, second installment pay 30,000. So totally by second installment, total amount how much you paid? 45% you paid. Third installment, 75% of tax payable you should be completing. How much you should be paying? By the time 15th December comes, 75% of the balance tax amount you should be paying. Which means how much you will pay extra? Sir, 75% means very simple, sir. 75,000 tax payable is 1 lakh, sir. Into 75% means 75,000 minus first installment I paid 15, sir. Second installment I paid 30,000, sir. Let us assume, which means I have to pay 30,000 rupees in the third installment. With which? So minus 30 is equal to 30,000. So by this time, how much you will be paying totally? 75,000 rupees you should be completing. By 15th March, 100% of the tax liability you must discharge. Whatever balance tax payable is there, right? 100% you must discharge. Which means another 25,000 you will be paying. 100% means what? 1 lakh minus. So by 15th December, 75,000 I should be paying, right? So balance how much is liable? 25,000 you should pay. So 25,000 you will be paying. So with that 25,000, how much is the total tax that you should be paying totally? 1 lakh. See, what are they saying is very simple. Listen once again. Advance tax you should pay in 4 installments. How you should pay these installments? Every installment, how much you should pay, they did not clearly tell. What they told is, by 15th June, 15% of the tax payable amount you should discharge. So whatever 15% comes, calculate. Did you pay any amount already within 15th June? Nothing. How much is 15%? That much you pay. Sir, 15% is 15,000 are paid, sir. By second installment, how much you should be paying? They did not tell how much you should pay. They told you 45% of the tax payable amount you should be completing. Sir, out of 45, sir, 15% I already paid, sir. Balance 30, whatever is, sir, pay that. So that make it 45% of the tax payable. Make sure 45% of the tax payable amount you computed and paid it. By 15th December, 75% of the tax payable amount you should complete. Whatever the tax payable, out of it 75% you should be completing by 15th December itself. Okay, sir, 75. Which means how much I will pay actually? Sir, 75,000 I should be completing. Like first installment I paid 15, sir. Second installment I paid actually 30, sir. Both put together 45,000 I paid, sir. By the time second installment completed, still I have 30 only, sir. Pay that 30 so that totally 75,000 will come. By fourth installment, 100% of the tax amount, payable amount should be completed. Already 75,000 paid, sir, up to 15th December. Still how much I have to pay? 25. So making it totally 1 lakh. This is the amount that you should be paying. This is the amount that you should be paying. So now I will remove these brackets. This is just for understanding purpose I told. Let us assume this is the amount, right? Let us assume year is completed. 22-23 year is completed. Now when I see my actual income, no, total income is 12 lakhs. My actual liability 1 lakh 80. TDS, TCS and all 80,000 is there. Balance amount is 1 lakh. And if I apply the provisions of advance tax, this is how my installment amounts looks like. Once again, this is, let us assume 23-24 year is completed. I am at the time, in July month or August month, somewhere 2024. I am in August 2024 or July 2024, whatever. Now I am filing IT return. Now I computed my total income. You know what? My total income is 12 lakhs actually. My total gross tax is 1 lakh 80, TDS and all. Now balance tax payable 1 lakh. Since it's exceeding 10,000, advance tax is applicable. So if I see section 211, these are the installments which I have to pay. This is how the picture is like. But you know what? This SSE, while computing advance tax liability, he estimated actual tax as 1 lakh. He estimated actual tax as what? 1 lakh. And he estimated TDS 50,000 wrongly. His actual TDS is 80, but he thought it is 50. And he thought balance tax payable is only 50,000. And how he did, how he paid, he paid in first installment. No, I'm telling you about the past, what happened. Getting it? So he estimated tax payable amount less. Actually, his tax payable amount is what? Really 1 lakh. But how much he estimated? 50. So how much is the amount that he paid actually? This SSE paid first installment 7,500. The SSE paid second installment approximately 50,000 into 45%. Let us assume he paid totally 22,500. So okay. Actually, second installment he paid 15,000 only. 15,000 only he paid. Third installment he just paid 50,000 into 75. 50,000 into 75%. So he paid by third installment 37,500. Actually, he paid only 15,000 in third installment also. Fourth installment he paid 12,500, making it totally 50,000. This is how we actually paid. Actual advance tax payment. This is the advance tax as per section 211. As per 211, this is the amount you should pay, whereas SSE paid actually these amounts. SSE actually paid these amounts. Now tell me, why SSE paid short amount? See, we understood the SSE paid lesser advance tax only when the year is completed, only when we actually computed total income and actual tax liability, then we understood the SSE paid lesser tax. Now here SSE paid lesser tax rate because of wrong estimation, or maybe intentional, who knows. So what department is saying? What is the shortfall? Sir, in the first installment by 15th June, no, 7,500 is shortfall, sir. By 15th September, no, sir, he should have been paying 45, sir, but he only paid 22,500. 22,500 is a shortfall as on the date. By 15th December, sir, he should be completing 75, but he only paid 37,500. Total 37,500 rupees is shortfall. By end of the year, 15th March, no, sir, 50,000 is the total shortfall. Now, this is the shortfall, right? For first installment, 7,500 is a shortfall. Like he must pay 15,000. as per department point of view, but he estimated wrongly and paid 7,500 only. So 7,500 shortfall. So second installment he must be paying 45%, sir, but he only paid 22,500. 22,500 rupees shortfall as on 15th September. Still he has an advance tax liability of 22,500 rupees. As on 15th December, he is having a shortfall of 37,500. As on 15th December, he is supposed to pay another 37,500, but he only paid 37,500. He is supposed to pay 75 totally, but he only paid totally by that time 37,500. So 37,500 shortfall. By 15th March, entire 50,000 shortfall. Now what is the consequence? Since now tell me, within the previous year, 2023 to 2024, within this year, at every installments there is a short. The income tax department is saying, you are liable to pay interest. Now I will reduce this font size. Okay. Just a minute. So these are the amounts, right? Now look at. So these are the amounts, right? Yes or no? Now there is a shortfall. Very simple. Department is very clear. Pay interest at 1% per month or even part of a month. 1% per month or part of a month. For every month delay, pay interest. Now for first installment, 7,500, right? How interest is calculated? What is the shortfall? 7,500 multiplied by 3 months into 1%. Second installment shortfall, 22,500 into 3 months into 1%. 37,500 into 3 months into 1%. Last installment, 50,000 multiplied by 1 month into 1%, not 3 months. Everywhere you observe, the formula is 3 months, 3 months, 3 months. For first installment, second installment, third installment, if there is a shortfall, 3 months we compute interest. Whereas for fourth installment, only for 1 month. Because with that March month is over. Only for March 15th, you should be paying 100%. As on March 31st, have you paid 100%? No, that 50,000 shortfall is there. March 15th to March 31st, how many days? 16 days. Part of a month is also treated as one full month. So 1 month, 1% per month interest. How much is the interest? First, let me compute. Then I will explain you the logic behind this. 7,500 into 3 months into 1%. 225 rupees. How much is the interest? 225 rupees. 22,500 into 3 into 1%. 675 rupees. 37,500 into 3 into 1%. 1125. 50,000 into 1 into 1%. 500 rupees. Total interest how much? 225 plus 675 plus 1125 plus 500. 2,525. This is the interest that is applicable as per 234C. What is the interest that is applicable as per 234C section? 2,500 rupees interest you have to pay because you have paid lesser advance tax, and the interest under 234C is collected for shortfall during the previous year. Within 31st March, whatever shortfall is there, 234C interest will apply. Sir, actually no, SSE is ultimately paying this entire tax. No, ultimately paying balance tax is how much still he is paying. Now let us look at this story. Let me continue this story. Now SSE is filing the IT return in July 2024. Means after 31st March, 4 months gap. After 4 months gap, in July he is filing IT return. While he is filing IT return, 1,80,000 rupees total tax. 50,000 rupees. Sorry. Yeah, 1,80,000 rupees is total tax. 80,000 rupees is actual TDS. Minus this fellow paid total advance tax how much? 50. What is the balance tax? 50,000 is the balance tax. Now this balance tax when you are paying, plus 234C interest how much? 2,525. 234B interest also will apply. Now 234C, 2,525, right? This is the interest which you are paying. Like what department argument? By 15th March itself, you should be completing entire. Whatever 50,000 balance tax, you should be paying, even this total after TDS 1 lakh. But you estimated 50 as balance tax and paid only 50 advance tax. 50,000 balance pending tax is there. This you did not pay. So what department is saying? Under 234C, up to 31st March of the previous year, whatever shortfall in advance tax payment is there, on that interest is to be calculated. Fine, sir. Now I understood slightly under 234C, 1 month, 3 months, 3 months, 3 months, something about 333, 1 month. We understood, we calculated interest up to March month, whatever interest is there, we calculated, and 2525 it came, sir, and I will add. Now, sir, actually, if you see, but March to July, 4 more months gap is also there, na? This 4 months also I did not pay tax. 50,000 rupees I am paying tax ultimately on 31st July only, 2024, which means the delay is not up to March. Even after March also I have not paid. Only in July month I am paying. What about this 4 months interest? This 4 months interest is what 234B section is talking about. These 4 months interest is what 234B is talking about. Indirectly, 234C is talking about interest on shortfall. Interest on shortfall in advance tax payment during previous year. In the previous year, whatever shortfall is there. In the previous year. See, as per law, by 15th March, 100% of the tax you should be paying, right? If at all you paid entire 1 lakh, balance tax payable within 15th March, as per respective installments, if you pay that 15, 45, 75, 100, no problem. 234C will not come into picture. But what happened? You wrongly estimated tax and you paid lesser amount. So because of which, during the previous year, whatever shortfall is there, we collected interest up to March. What about after March? Because you are ultimately paying tax in July or August or September, October. After March also you have not paid. What about that interest? After March means assessment year started. In assessment year, if at all, still you have pending tax liability, na? Until you actually pay. When? Until you actually pay the tax. In July or September or August or October, whatever. Until you actually pay the tax and file the ID return. Until you actually pay the full tax. Still there is a shortfall, right? But that shortfall in the assessment year, you should pay interest under 234B. 234B section is talking about if there is a tax payable amount because of shortfall in payment of advance tax or non-payment of advance tax. Whether you have not at all paid advance tax or you paid lesser advance tax. If the shortfall is still continued in the April month onwards, until you clear the shortfall, pay 1% per month interest until you pay the tax fully, or until you file the IT return, or until assessment is completed, whichever is earlier. They use all these 3 words, but I will discuss later. Until you clear this tax, very simple. Until that 50,000 rupees is cleared, settled with the department, and until you pay that by challan to the department, pay 1% per month during assessment year. During assessment year. Now let us assume, look at this example. My total tax liability is 1,80,000. This is my tax liability. Minus TDS is actually 80,000 is there as per my TDS records. Balance tax payable is 1 lakh. This I should be paying in the form of advance tax 15%, 45, 75, 100. But I only paid as a whole 4 installments put together 50 only. So balance tax payable still I have. Okay. Now since I have paid lesser advance tax, 234C interest 2,525 plus 234B interest is also applicable. Now you know what? This entire 50,000 I am paying in July itself. July 2024 itself I am ready. Cash is there in my hand. This 2,550 both are there. Still add little more cash. For what? 234B interest. How much? 50,000 is the amount of shortfall, right? As on 31st March, still this shortfall is there, le? Yes, sir. So April, May, June, July, that interest also you should pay, le? Yes, sir. 1% into how many months, sir? In July amount you are clearing. Are you paying in July month full amount? Yes, sir. Right now I am ready to pay. July 31st I am on. I am exactly on July 25th or 26th. Before 31st July, I have cash in my hand. I am ready to pay in the bank right now. I am ready to pay over online, phone pay, Google Pay, whatever. Okay, fine. 4 months delay is equal to 50,000 into 1% per month into 4 months delay for this 50,000. So which means 2,000 rupees. 2,000 rupees. 234B. Total amount 54,525. Now you pay this amount to the income tax department in the ID income tax website. Pay challan 54,525 exactly. Suppose no, you are not paying right now. You are paying in the next month again. August month means another 500 rupees, 1% interest. August month interest also add. Now pay ultimately all 5 months interest put together. Suppose you are paying in July itself. Don't add 5th month interest, only 4 months late. 4 months interest compute. Add that also. Total amount how much? Pay that much amount to the department. Over. This is what 234C, 234B is about. I'm not talking technically anything right now. Getting the point. If at all you are a repeater, you might have heard that, sir, 234C shortfall is computed on the basis of returned tax. 234C shortfall in payment of advance tax for calculation of interest on the shortfall in the previous year, we calculated by reference with returned tax. Whereas in 234B, the reference will be assessed tax. I think if you're a repeater, you might have heard like this. Wait, I am not covering about those technical terms at this moment. Right now, my only agenda, my only focus at this moment is to make you understand how 234C, how 234B applies. Are you clear? Until now, I clearly explained you. Very simple. Once again, my actual tax liability 1,80,000. My TDS amount is 80,000. My balance tax liability is 1 lakh. This I have to pay. Now, by 15th June 2023, I'm talking about previous year 23-24 or 22-23, whatever you took, or 15th September 2023. These are the installments. So 15th December 2023, 15th March 2023. By 15th December, 15% I should be paying, which means pay 15,000 to department. By 15th September, 45,000 should be completed. Out of total tax payable, 45,000 you should settle. Already 15 I paid. Just 30,000 if you pay extra, 45 will come. By 15th December, 75,000 you should be discharging. By 15th March, 1 lakh you should be discharging. But in reality, SSC paid 15,000 rupees. Second installment he paid 30. Totally, in reality, SSC paid 7,500 rupees and second installment he paid another 7,500. Second installment he paid only 15, making it 22,500. Third installment he paid just 15, totally 37,500. Fourth installment he paid 12,500, making it 50. Therefore, there is a shortfall of 7,500. There is a shortfall of 22,500. There is a shortfall 75 minus 37. Shortfall is what? This is actual advance tax you should be paying. This is the advance tax liability. This is the actual amount you paid by the time. So actual advance tax liability minus actual is equal to shortfall. So 75 minus 37,500, 37,500. 1 lakh minus 50, 50,000. This is the shortfall. On this, interest is applicable. Here, 3 months multiplied by 1%. Here, 3 months multiplied by 1%. Here, 3 months multiplied by 1%. Here, 1 month multiplied by 1%. So compute interest. Now, what is the logic? What is the logic behind this 3331? What is the logic? Now, this is 234C interest. This is 234C interest. The logic is very simple. Now, you see, here no. 15,000 SSC has to pay, right? But he paid how much? 7,500. 7,500 is the shortfall. On that, 3 months only we are calculating. We are calculating only for 3 months interest, not up to March if you observe. We are not calculating from 15th June to 15th March to 10 months interest at a time. What are we calculating? We are only calculating 3 months interest at 1%. So how much we are getting? 225 rupees. 225. 7,500 into 3 into 1%. 225. Now, why we are computing for 3 months only? Now you see here carefully. Actually, how the SSC paid is, how the SSC has paid is, so first installment 7,500 he paid. Second installment 15,000 rupees he paid. Third installment 15,000 rupees he paid. Fourth installment 12,500 rupees he paid. Just a minute. Second installment he actually paid 15,000 rupees. Third installment he actually paid 15,000. Fourth installment he actually paid 12,500, and that's how cumulatively. By first installment due date, cumulatively how much you paid? 7,500. By second installment due date, cumulatively how much you paid? First 7.5, second is 15. Total put together 22. By 15th December, cumulatively how much you paid? 7.5, 15 and 15. 7.5, 15 and 15. Total cumulatively 37. By fourth installments, cumulatively 50. This is how he paid. Now, for first installment, shortfall 7.5 is there. 3 months only we computed interest. But actually, this entire shortfall he did not pay up to March. So we should compute for 10 months. But why we computed for 3 months only? Now, 15th September, there is a shortfall of 22,500. In this 22,500, already this 7.5 is there. This 22,500 is how. Now let us look at based on advance tax liability. As per the liability, how he must be paying? First installment he should pay 15. Second installment he should pay actually. Second installment challan amount should be 30,000. Therefore, totally 45 will come. Third installment challan will be 30,000. Therefore, 75 will come. Fourth installment challan will be 25. Therefore, 1 lakh will come totally. This is a challan amounts. But actual challan amounts are this much. This is the supposed challan amount. This is supposed to be the challan amount quarterly. But actual challans the SSC paid is like this. Now, you see, in the second installment, actual challan amount should be 30,000, right? SSC paid how much? 15. What is the shortfall? 15 only, na? But you see, what is the shortfall here? 22. We are not computing challan amounts. We are computing status as on 15th September. As on 15th September, 45 you should be depositing. But you deposited only 22,500. As on 15th September, total shortfall is 22,500. On that, until next December, until next installment, 3 months, 1%. As on 15th December, 75 totally you should be paying. 37 only you paid. Total shortfall 37,500. How this total shortfall 37,500 came? In this 37,500, 7,500 one first installment shortfall, 15,500 second installment shortfall, another 15,000 third installment related shortfall, 7.5 first installment shortfall, second installment you should pay challan 30, but you paid only 15, third installment challan 30, you paid only 15, so total put together 37,500 is a shortfall. Got the point now? Why on 7.5 3 months only we completed? Actually on the 7.5 3 months we completed it. This 7.5 is covered in this, and 3 months we computed again. This 7.5 is again covered in this 37,500. On that again 3 months we are computing. This 7.5 is again repeated in this 50. Again 1 month we are computing. 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 1. On 7.5 10 months we computed. Got the clarity? That's why. See, because no, we are see. Why 3331? Why are we computing? Let me take this example in a different way. See, in 234C section, we compute interest only up to March of the previous year. Remember one point. In 234C section, we will compute interest amount only up to March of the previous year. Sir, SSC has not paid tax, sir, even in the assessment year also. In July or September only he is paying tax. What about that interest? 234B will take care. From April month onwards, 234B will take care. By 31st March, up to previous year closure, in shortfall, whatever is there in the payment of tax, 234C interest will apply. Now let me apply this. Another way I will compute the logic. Another way. First installment, as per this logic, how much you should be paying? First installment, 15. First installment, how much you should be paying? By 15th June 23, you must be paying challan amount to 15. But how much challan you paid? 7,500. Sorry. So what is the shortfall? 7,500 is a shortfall. For how many months? Up to March, have you repaid this shortfall amount? No, sir, I did not repay. Up to March, shortfall continued. 10 months multiplied by 1%. How much? 750 rupees. Okay. By 15th September 2023, what is the second installment challan amount you should be paying? Totally 30. Only then 45 will come. But how much you paid? 15,000 only you paid. So how much is the shortfall? 15,000 is the shortfall. From September to March, how many months? 7 months multiplied by 1%. So 15,000 into 7 months into 1%. 1,050 is the interest on this shortfall. Second installment related shortfall, 15,000 on that 7 months interest. 15th December 2023, How much you should be paying totally? Another challan amount. How much challan amount you should be paying? Actually, 30,000 should be the challan amount. So the total tax will come 75 by the time. But how much you paid in the third installment also challan 15 only. So third month challan amount shortfall how much? 15,000. For up to March, have you cleared the shortfall? No, sir. So entire 4 months that 15 is outstanding into 1%. So 15,000 into 4 into 1%, 600 rupees. 15th March. How much is the challan amount should be? Challan amount should be 25,000. But how much challan you actually paid? 12,500 challan only you paid. So how much is the shortfall? 12,500. Up to 31st March there is a delay. Have you paid this amount? No, not paid. So 1% interest applicable for 1 month. How much? 125 rupees. 12,500 into 1% into 1 month, 125. Now total these amounts 750 plus 750, 1050, 600, 125. Total it 750 plus 1050 plus 600 plus 125. Total amount is 2,525, sir. That's what. No, here also if I compute 3 months, 3 months, 3 months, 1 month, if I go with this method, or 10 months, 7 months, 4 months, 1 month, if I go with this method, in both the cases the answer is same. Here you see 7,500 into 3 months into 1%, 225. Second, 22,500 into 3 months into 1%, 675. 37,500 into 3 months into 1%, 1,125. 50,000 into 1 month into 1%, 500. So round off. Now total it 225 plus 675 plus 1125 plus 500. Same answer you got. Here also 2,525. You have understood. Now which calculation we should follow? You should follow the first calculation which I told. You should follow this method. 3331. That method is best method. That method is the best method. Very simple. Here we are calculating shortfall cumulatively. That's why 3 months only we are calculating. Why this 75 shortfall 3 months first we calculated. In this 25 this 75 is already included. So another 3 months interest added. In this 37 this 75 shortfall is there. So another 3 months added. In this 50 this 75 shortfall is also there. So 1 month. So on 75 3331 10 months is calculated indirectly. Since we calculated cumulatively 3331 method we followed. Understood? So this is the permitted mode of presentation in the examination, not this mode. This is in this method if you go, no, sometimes you may not get accurate answer. Be careful. Getting it? This is best method. Very simple. As on 15th June, what is your liability? How much you paid? What is the shortfall? Just to compute for 3 months up to September. As on September, what is the liability? What amount you already paid? What is the shortfall? Compute interest up to December month only. As on December 15th, what is the total liability? How much you paid? Compute up to March month 15th only. 3 months. As on March 15th, how much liability and how much is the shortfall? Compute up to March 31st, 1 month. Part of a month is also to be treated as 1 full month. So we are computing up to next installment only the interest at every installment shortfall. At every installment shortfall, we are computing interest only up to next installment due date. That's why 3331 cumulative shortfall we computed. If you understood this versus this, you are done. No need to have further discussion. If at all you understood this calculation, leave it. You follow this method. In exam also, I am telling you, 100 out of 100 percentage you will get the mark. Yes, I hope now you understood this calculation, logic behind this calculation. Now you know what? This 234C interest, there is a small relaxation for first and second installment related interest applicable. What is that? Now look at this example again. By 15th June 2023, how much amount you should be paying? 15,000. By 15th September 2023, how much amount you should be paying? 45. Same example. By 15th December 2023, how much you should be clearing totally? 75. By 15th March 2024, that is 4th installment due date, entire 1 lakh you should be clearing off. You should be clearing fully. Suppose by 15th June, you should pay 15% of the tax payable, right? But generally, this is based on actual amount we calculated. But in reality, can SSA compute what is exactly his total income? Tell me logically. Especially year beginning. 15th June means April 1st year started. 15th June, you are asking me to pay advance tax by computing estimated total income, and you are simply asking me to pay advance tax. How come I calculate accurately total income? First of all, tell me. Mine is a business, man. Mine is a business. In the entire first 9 months, I don't know what business is. In the last 3 months, suddenly business may grow or suddenly business may fall down. Who knows? So April to December, my business is nothing. Jan to March only, my business have completely sales and all grown up. But still, department is very cruel. What are they saying? By 15th June, total business income is this much. By 15th June, 15% tax you should be paying. Sir, my business happened only during this Jan to March, sir. That and all doesn't matter, man. April to March. In this year, what is your total income? Estimate correctly. Pay 15% of the tax, 45% of the tax, 75% of the tax payable, 100% of the tax payable correctly. If you don't pay like that, if you pay some amount, whatever shortfall is there, I will calculate interest. Fine, I agree, I'll pay. Now, ultimately, finally, what department did, they gave small benefit to the SSE. Okay, fine, I understand. So, suppose no. Let us assume actually SSE paid how much, SSE actually paid 12,500 only first installment. Let us assume SSE paid how much actually? 12,500. In the second installment, SSE paid by the time second installment comes, totally SSE paid 38,000. By the time third installment comes, totally SSE paid 60,000. By the time fourth installment comes, SSE paid 70,000. Okay, which means how much he actually paid in each installment challan. Here SSE have paid 25,500 challan. Here SSE paid some 22,000 challan amount. Here SSE paid extra 10,000 challan amount. That's how he paid. Getting it? That's it. So this is how he paid. Now what department said is, if at all, this is first installment, this is second installment, this is third installment, this is fourth installment. For first and second installment, department gave a relaxation. What relaxation? If at all the actual amount that you pay in first installment is at least 12% of tax payable amount. If the actual tax you paid, actual advance tax, this is the actual amount you paid by those due dates. The actual amount you paid is at least 12% of the tax payable for the first installment. Of course, you should pay 15% of tax payable. But if at all, because of your estimation and all, you could not pay 15, but you paid more than or equal to 12%, but not equal to 15. See, actually, here, what is the shortfall? Just a minute. What is the shortfall technically speaking? What is the shortfall here? Shortfall is how much? 2,500 shortfall. Here is the what is shortfall? 7,000 is the shortfall. Here 15,000 is the shortfall. Here 30,000 is the shortfall. How to calculate shortfall? This is the advance tax liability. This is the installment paid. This is the liability. This is the amount cumulatively paid. This is the liability. This is the amount cumulatively paid. This is the liability. This is the amount cumulatively paid. And these are the cumulative shortfalls. Now on this, what is the interest? 3 months into 1%. 3 months into 1%. 3 months into 1%. I have already told you what is this logic. 1 month into 1%. What is the interest? Let me calculate and then analyze. Let me calculate 2,500 into 3 months into 1%. How much it is? 75 rupee. 7,000 into 3 into 1%. How much it is? 210 rupee. 15,000 into 3 into 1%. Sorry. 15,000 into 3 into 1%. 450 rupees. Here it is 30,000 into 1 month into 1%. 300. So totally how much you should pay advance tax? These are the rounded amount. That is the total. So this is the total interest on shortfall in payment of advance tax during the previous year. Correct? Now, Income Tax Department has brought a relaxation in 234C for first and second installment. For first and second installments, they brought a relaxation. Now, in this case, SSE paid how much? SSE paid how much? Just a minute. So, SSE paid how much? First installment 12.5, but he's supposed to pay how much? 15. Now SSE is arguing. Let's assume I'm an SSE department. Dear department, 23-24 year is over. I know my advance tax amount is 15,000 for the first installment, but I paid 12.5. Department is saying you pay interest. I am arguing with the department. Dear department, last year, 15th June, which means my third month in that year, how can I compute my total income so accurately and pay tax? You tell me, if you are in my position, will you calculate exactly what is the total tax and pay exactly 15% on that? I paid 15%. As per my calculation, 15% is 12.5. Fine. After year is over today, after 23-24 year is over, now I understood that there is a shortfall. But at the time when I am computing this advance tax, no, I thought 12,500 is what installment amount. Okay, fine. 100% accurate estimation is not possible for any SSC, especially at the beginning year, at the beginning only. In the first quarter only, nobody can expect what is my income in the next 12 months correctly. Nobody. So what department said is, suppose if you pay, okay fine, since you can't estimate, if you pay 12% of tax payable at least by first installment due date, at least 12% you paid up. Check out, sir, actually 15% means 15,000. I paid only 12.5. There is a shortfall of 2.5. But you know, sir, I paid 12.5, sir, which is more than 12% of the tax payable amount in the first installment. Tax payable is 1 lakh. 12% means 12,500. Sorry, 12,000. But I paid 12.5, sir. I paid more than 12. Okay, you paid more than 12%. Yes, but still there is a shortfall because you are supposed to pay how much originally as per the law, 15%. But you paid at least how much? 12. As per section 211, this is the amount of installment. Since you paid 12.5, 234C interest is applicable on the 2,500 shortfall. But in the same 234C, one exception is there. What are they saying? Since you paid at least 12% of tax payable by first installment, for the first installment, whatever shortfall is there, since you paid more than or equal to 12% of tax payable, even though shortfall is there, interest is exempt for that amount. For that first installment shortfall, interest is exempt. Like, what do you mean by that? Now, in this case, 12% of tax payable means 12,000. How much this fellow paid? 12,500 he paid. Is he paying more than 12%? Yes. Now, this interest, see, one second, I'm sorry. See, my point is very simple. I want you to be having very clear. That's the reason I'm repeating. It's not that I'm confusing. I want you to understand the exact logic. Or later on, you should not even think about this. Okay. First installment, as per section 211, you should be paying 15,000. But you paid 12.5. 2,500 shortfall. This is the interest under 234C, technically speaking. But since you paid 12% at least of the tax payable, even though there is a 2,500 shortfall, even though for the 3 months 75 rupees interest amount is applicable, since you paid 12% of the first installment liability, interest amount is exempted. This interest amount will not apply. Then if you at least pay 12%, suppose same question, same item, let us assume SSC has paid 11,500 only, not 12.5. 11.5 only he paid. Shortfall is 3,500. Interest amount is 105 rupee. Now, SSC has to pay 15,000, 15%. But SSC paid only 11,500, where there is a shortfall of 3.5. Interest is 105 rupee for the first installment shortfall. Now, is interest applicable of first installment? I am checking. Did the SSC pay 12% at least? No, sir. He did not pay. 12% means 12,000 he should have paid at least. But he paid only 11.5. No exemption. Whatever shortfall is there, on that let us calculate interest. 105 rupee interest will come. Pay that interest. I will give exemption to which SSC? If the SSC paid 12,000 rupees or more than 12,000 rupees in that first installment, in our example 12,000 rupees means 12%, nothing but. For the first installment, if the SSC may not pay 15, but at least pay 12%, no. Even though, see, I know 15% he should pay, but he paid at least 12%. 3% there is a shortfall. Example, 3 or less than 3, whatever. Some shortfall is there. I will not collect interest. What is the logic? If you see 15 minus 12 by 100 is equal to 15 minus 12 by 15. You are supposed to pay 15, but I am giving you 12 only. Example, 15 minus 12 divided by 15 is equal to 20%. What is it? 20%. Now, what is that logic? As per section 211, you are supposed to pay 15% of the tax payable amount as advance. If at all you did not pay 15%, I will calculate what is the shortfall. I calculate 3 months into 1% interest and I'll collect from you that interest. If at all the actual amount is minimum 12%, you paid in the first installment, whatever shortfall is there, I will not collect interest on that. That's what the exemption. Now, what is that 12%, 15%? That logic. Indirectly, department is saying, up to 20% of the tax difference. Up to 20% of the tax difference. You are supposed to pay 15, but you paid only 12. What is the tax difference? 3. 3 by 15 means what? 20%. If at all in the first installment, overall shortfall is 20% or less than 20% shortfall. 20% deviation is permitted. I know you can't estimate 100% accurate. 20% deviation, I'll agree. This benefit department gave. 20% deviation is benefit they gave. Suppose if the deviation is more than 20% between what you paid and what is the installment, the deviation is more than 20%. I will not agree. If the deviation is less than 20%, I agree. How they expressed a 20% deviation for 15 minus 20%, 12%. For 45 minus 20%. What is the minus 45 minus 20%? 36. For second installment, what are they saying? What department is saying? 36. For first installment, 12%. What are they saying is, if the first installment paid by you is at least 12% of the tax payable, at least 12. Of course, you did not pay 15. You paid at least 12. There is a shortfall. Interest will not apply for the first installment shortfall. Second installment, you are supposed to pay 45%. You only paid 36 or more than 36. There is a shortfall. Still, I will not collect interest. So, now how you should solve in exam this? Very simple. 15th June, 15th September, 15th December, 15th March. Advance tax liability, how much? Liability is 15,000, 45,000 total cumulative liability, 75,000 and 1 lakh. Okay. Actual cumulative payment. Actually, cumulatively, how much you paid? 7,500, 22,500, 37,500, 50,000 rupees I paid. Is there a shortfall? Yes. Is there a shortfall? Yes. How much is the shortfall? Interest calculation. 7,500 is a shortfall. 22,500 is a shortfall. 37,500 is a shortfall. 50,000 is the shortfall. This is the shortfall. Now, interest amount you should calculate. Now, is interest amount applicable here? This is a question. Now, what you should check? You paid actual 75. Advance tax you should pay 15. Now, have you paid actual amount first installment at least 12%? In this case, no. Less than 12. Interest is applicable. Interest is as usual. While calculating interest, 12% point, ignore it. 12% point is only for considering interest is applicable or not. That's it. Once interest is applicable, what is actual shortfall? How to calculate actual shortfall? Actual advance tax minus actual installment is equal to actual shortfall. Now on that shortfall, will you compute interest? For that purpose, how much amount I actually paid? Is it at least 12%? Yes, sir. No need to pay interest. If it is not 12%, calculate interest. Very simple. So logic. For second installment, the advance tax 234C says, if at all SSE at least paid 36%. In this example, 45,000 is the total. You paid 38, which means you paid at least 36% of 1 lakh. You paid 38. I know here there is a total 45. You paid only 38. 7,000 shortfall. Is there interest is normally applicable? But the exception says since the SSE paid up to 36% of the tax liability by the time of second installment, on the shortfall don't calculate interest. On the first installment, since SSE paid 12% at least, don't calculate interest. Now third installment, no. If there, what is the third installment? What is the cumulative amount paid? What is the shortfall? Directly calculate interest. No exemption like this. No exception like this. For first and second installment only, 20% deviation in payment of advance tax is permitted. Up to 20% deviation is permitted. So that if at all the deviation is not more than 20, less than or equal to 20, interest is exempted under 234C. If the deviation is more than 20%, you have to pay 15, you paid 11 only. 4 shortfall, interest applies. You paid 12 or more than 12. Shortfall is 3 rupees or less than 3 rupees. 3 or less than 3 on 15 is 20% or less than 20%. Interest is exempted. This is what advance tax 234C is all about. Let's calculate one question. In TDS, test your knowledge, one question is there. In TDS chapter, test your knowledge question number 6. Now you see, Mr. J having a total income of 8,70,000 rupee. Okay. He did not pay any advance tax. Just a minute. Yeah, he did not pay any advance tax during the previous year 22. He did not pay at all. Which means every installment fully shortfall. Not even 12% he paid to get exemption for first installment shortfall related interest. He wishes to pay whole of the tax along with interest on filing the return in July 2023. So which means they are talking about previous year 22-23, assessment year is 23-24. In July 2023, he want to pay total tax plus interest, everything put together. What is the total tax which Mr. J has to deposit as self-assessment tax along with interest? Self-assessment tax means what? I will discuss that in return of income chapter, not now. Okay. Self-assessment tax means final tax that you have to pay now at the time of filing ID return. That amount is called as self-assessment tax. Very simple. Finally, at the time of filing ID return, still if you have any tax amount, pay it. That is called self-assessment tax. There is a section 140 capital A, 140A. That is what talking about self-assessment tax. Okay. Anyhow, I will discuss that in return of income chapter. Are you clear? Now, he is filing return on 29th July itself. So this fellow approached you on 29th July. Sir, I want to pay tax right now. How much is my tax liability? Very simple. Very simple. What is the total income? 8,70,000. What is the gross tax liability? What is the gross tax liability? 8,70,000 normal citizen. Age less than 60. So on 3,70,000, 20% tax. Up to 5,12,500 tax. Plus 4% education cess. 89,960 is a gross tax liability. Minus TDS and all is there? 0. No information is given. 89,960 is the tax payable amount. Since it is more than 10,000, advance tax should be applied. No, which means entire 89,960 he should be paying in 22-23 itself. In 22-23 previous year itself, he should be paying this entire 89,960 in 4 installments. How he should be paying? 15th June 22, 15%, 89,960 into 15%. So he must be paying 13,494 by 15th September 22. 89,960 into 45% total he must be discharging 40,482. Okay. By 15th December 22. 89,960 into 75% he should be paying 67,470. By 15th March 2023, within the previous year, entire 89,960 you must be paying. So this is the advance tax liability. Yes or no? How much actually he paid? In the problem they have given nothing. 0, 0, 0, 0. What is the shortfall? 13,494. 13,494. 40,482, 67,470, 89,960. Interest amount 3 months multiplied with 3 3 months multiplied by 1%, 3 months multiplied by 1%, 3 months multiplied by 1%, 3 months multiplied by 1%. What is the amount? 13,494 into 3 months multiplied by 1%. 13,494 into 3%. Apply. You also calculate, man. 404. 1214. 67,470 into 2024. 8,899. That's it. Total interest how much? 404 plus 1214 plus 2024 plus 899. 4,541 is the total interest as per 234C. If you directly do like this in exam, this is wrong. I mean, the problem which I did right now is right. Absolutely right. Just a minute. Whatever I did right now is absolutely correct. But you know, whenever you are calculating first installment, second installment interest, how much actually paid? If this is at least 12% of tax payable, this interest will not come. If this is at least 36% of tax payable, this interest will not come. Remaining as usual, you can proceed. For first installment interest, second installment interest, here shortfall you computed correctly. But here, how much you actually paid? Is it 12%? Is it 36%? You should check out this. But here anyhow it is 0, so we directly computed. But if at all some actual amount he paid in first installment, by second installment also he paid totally some actual amount. If this is 12% or if this is 36%, even though there is some shortfall, interest will not come. Remember, keep this point. This is a checkpoint when you are calculating interest. Now you see, we calculated interest only up to March month, man. But this fellow is filing IT return in July. Only in July he is paying tax. July 2023 only he is paying tax. We computed interest only up to March 2023. Whereas he is ultimately paying in July. Even that 4 months also he did not pay. Entire 89,960 he is having outstanding with the department. For this entire 4 months also, April, May, June, July. Only in July he is paying this 89,960. Yes or no? So up to March month, under 234C, because he did not pay advance tax properly, we are calculating interest under 234C. What about April month onwards, assessment year onwards? We have to calculate interest under 234B. So 234B section says, from April of the assessment year, whatever total shortfall is there as on April 1st, identify. As on April 1st, what is the total shortfall? What is the total tax? Minus TDS, minus advance tax paid up to 31st March. How much is the total tax paid up to 31st March? Still, what is the balance outstanding as on 1st April identified? On that, and when it is paid up to that date, 1% per month, you should calculate interest on 234B. Remember, 234B. 4 months into 1% is equal to 89,960 multiplied by 4 into 1%. 3,598 rupees. This is the interest under 234B. Now, what is the tax liability? Actually, 89,960. What is 234B interest? 3,598. What is 234C interest? 4,541. 4,541. Total tax 89,960 plus 3,598 plus 4,541 is equal to 98,099 rupees. You should pay challan. File IT return immediately. If at all you are paying next month this amount, 234B, 1 more percent will add. Very simple. Until you pay this amount, 234B will come from 1st April assessment year onwards. Up to 31st March of the previous year, 234C interest will come. Until you discharge total tax liability, you have to pay interest. Now let's look at the answer here, by the way. What is the total tax amount? 98,091 rupee. Here 98,099. It's okay. Some up to 10 rupees deviation is common. Okay. In the computation, they might have rounded it off. See here. This is the shortfall. So shortfalls, they rounded up to nearest 100 rupee. Because advance tax, there is a provision which says that advance tax amount that you have to pay. Advance tax installment amount that you have to pay. This installment, they rounded up to nearest 100 rupee. They rounded up to nearest 100 rupee. So there is a provision which says that you should round up to nearest 100 rupee advance tax amount. So accordingly, they applied that logic, nearest 100 rupee, they rounded off. Getting it? Even if you did not round off also, nothing wrong. It's okay. Okay, you can pay actual advance tax liability exactly with 1 rupee exact amount. So in reality, people pay by nearest 100 rupee, they round off and then pay. Getting it? That's it. I hope you understood. So 234B interest also you see. So 89,900 rounded off to nearest 100 rupee. Getting it? So this is the interest. Just that near round off amount only we did mistake. It's not actually mistake. That's an approach which people will follow. That's an approach which is permitted in the income tax department also. I'll tell you, there is a section called 288. There is a section called 288. I'll show you right now. Still, advanced tax chapter is not over yet. I thought it will be finishing within 45 to 1 hour. Another half an hour will take, so that whatever everything is there, I will just I'll directly easily tell you. A minute, ma. Yes, sorry for the interruption. Sorry. See, actually, I think there is no rule, but in practice, people are just rounding off to nearest 100 rupee and then calculating all this. But even if you don't do also, I told right, just 8 rupees difference we got between our answer and their answer. It's just 8 rupees. Getting it? So in exam, you also follow, like whatever advanced tax liability, nearest, 100 rupee, nearest 100, nearest 100 rupee you can round off. Getting it? So 13,500 you will get here. Correct? Same only they got. So 13,400 they got here. Rounded up to nearest 100 means here we got 13,494. It should be 13,500. They did wrong. So here it's at 40,500. Here it is 67,500. Here it is 89,960 means 90,000. It should be 90. So what they did, rounded up to nearest 100, ignoring fraction. They did wrongly actually. So technically speaking, they did wrongly. You see 15% off 89,900. 89,960 actually he'll get. Nearest 100 means 89,000, 90,000 it will get. So which they did wrong. Okay. Which they did wrong actually. But it's okay. In exam, you can either round off to nearest 100, but what I tell you is no need to round off also. Better you follow this itself, whatever the approach we followed, because this is most accurate approach. This is the most accurate approach, whatever the section says that we applied. So this is most accurate approach. I know this is not a big deal. I'm just telling you in case if at all you are having any confusion. That's it. With this advanced tax computation, everything we understood. Now we need to discuss the theory. Only theory part alone we have to read all this. So whatever we have discussed, all this is covered in this theory. Some 4 or 5 pages is there. So once we read this and understood, that's it. Advanced tax topic is done. Okay. Now if at all you are a repeater, for 234B, assessed tax, for 234C, return tax. So what is the difference? Don't worry, I will discuss in this next video, this theory reading. So there you will get all the clarifications. I hope you enjoyed this session. Advanced tax, we spent almost 1.5 hours, and theory reading another half an hour. Totally 2 hours we spent on advanced tax. I hope you understood the advanced tax provision, interest under 234B, 234C clearly. That's it. Okay, take care.